We need to intercept our next interstellar visitor to see if it's artificial, astronomers say in a new study. The new study games out a mission to intercept an interstellar comet, an object in space, to get a close up look to see just what it's made of. Scientists gaming out the best way to intercept objects that zoom into our solar system from interstellar space, an effort that could provide close-up views of entities that hail from alien star systems, sending spacecraft to catch up with these interstellar objects and potentially capture images of them from distances of just a few hundred miles, could reveal important details about their composition, evolution, and their origin beyond our solar neighborhood, reports a new study. It's been only 5 years since the discovery of the first known interstellar visitor, the mysterious 300-foot wide object known as umuamua, which was spotted traveling through the solar system October 2017. In addition to its sheer novelty, umuamua was something of an oddball that puzzled scientists, especially because it underwent a sudden speed boost that still remains unexplained. Scientists have presented many natural possible origins for the object, while the Harvard astronomer Avi Loeb has famously suggested that it may have been a piece of alien technology. If an Intercept mission had been ready to chase down umuamua 5 years ago, we might have some answers to the tantalizing questions of the object's nature and origin. To ensure we don't miss our next short and rendezvousing with similar strange objects, scientists hope to develop a spacecraft that can lay in wait until it's given the green light to pursue the interstellar target. And now a team led by Amir Shiraz, student pursuing astrophysics at Harvard University, have outlined some of the physical parameters of such a mission, including the potential timeline, spacecraft speed, and optimal distance of the flyby. Whereas past studies mapped out the feasibility of the concept, Siraj and his co-authors, including Loeb, investigating the requirements for a rendezvous mission with the primary object of producing a resolved image of an interstellar object, and discuss the characteristics from close range of interstellar objects like umuamua, don't have an unequivocal identified nature, according to forthcoming study in the Journal of Astronomical Instrumentation that was posted on Sunday to the preprint server ARXIV. We thought that how we could be most helpful to the conversation is by laying out the physical considerations that go into planning an interceptor mission, Siraj said. What are the limits set by physics you can get around no matter what? This can't be a useful resource for any other team that's putting together specific designs. It can be a useful resource for interstellar objects mission, he said. This is basically the physics checklist that the mission needs to satisfy, and this also contextualizes a type of mission that we would need to successfully do this. Siraj and Loeb have published many studies about interstellar objects and have identified 2 meteors that hit Earth over the past decade that may have been interstellar in origin. The pair are now working on an expedition to try to recover the remains of one of the meteors which struck in 2014 from the South Pacific seafloor. Loeb thinks it's possible that both umuamua and the 2014 meteor could be artificial in origin, which has provoked pushback from many other scientists who have said there is insufficient evidence for this proposition, and an intercept mission to the interstellar body could shed light on this question, which is why Siraj and colleagues discussed ways to distinguish between artificial and natural objects. We may anticipate that the spectra of artificial materials of extrasolar provenance may exhibit marked differences with respect to both natural occurring and human manufactured materials, the researcher said in the new study. If the main objective of the mission is to discriminate a possible artificial interstellar probe from a natural asteroid or a cometary object, then using a spectrometer sensitive to the wavelength of range 0.4 to 2.5 mm may be sufficient based on reference spectra of various artificial and natural minerals, they said. The new study also notes that the Vera Rubin telescopes Legacy Survey of Space and Time, LSST, a huge 10-year astronomical survey, will be an excellent detector for interstellar objects and could potentially spot dozens of these visitors. An Intercept mission would need to rapidly select one of these potentially abundant targets after its detection, then blast off within weeks in order to have enough time to catch up with it. If you're going to go after an interstellar object with $1 billion spacecraft, you probably want to look at it a little bit inside, want it to look a little bit unusual, Siraj said. For an umuamua-sized object, it's a couple of months for a trip, and for an object 10 times dimmer than umuamua, meaning a third of the size of umuamua, the trip would be a couple of weeks. So you would need to really be decisive very quickly. For this reason, Siraj and colleagues suggested parking a spacecraft in Lagrange Point 2, L2, a stable region in space where the James Webb Space Telescope is currently located. From this spot, a spacecraft could swiftly chase after objects that appear interesting at first glance, though the team noted that a mission could also be parked in orbit around Earth or even the Moon, or could launch from the ground. The mission would then conduct a flyby of the object, ideally from a distance of several hundred miles, which would reveal invaluable insights about the size, shape, composition, and potential origin. The European Space Agency is already developing a comet interceptor that will lurk in L2 and might end up pursuing an interstellar object, though the mission is more geared towards rendezvousing with a pristine comet from the outer regions of the solar system. A team of NASA scientists has also presented a Bridge to the Stars mission that aims to intercept an interstellar object, but this project remains in the concept phase for now. If an official interstellar intercept mission is eventually greenlit in the coming years, it would offer an unprecedented glimpse of any object from beyond our solar system. Meanwhile, the catalog of known interstellar objects will only expand on the LSST, and other next-generation observatories scan the skies for these interlopers. Such surveys may reveal whether umuamua was really an outlier, or if there are many objects like it wandering through interstellar space. It's remarkable to me that there still is not an explanation that does not invoke a new type of astrophysical object for umuamua, Siraj said. That's very motivating for me, and I think for a lot of scientists. And this is on Vice.com by Becky Ferreira. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.